ਦੋਸਤੋ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਲੰਘੇ ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਵਿੱਚ 29 ਜੁਲਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦਾ ਇਹ 30ਵਾਂ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ ਵਿਧਾਨ ਸਭਾ ਦਾ ਸਪਰਿੰਗ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ 52 ਦਿਨ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਚੱਲਿਆ।
Honourable members, at your desk you will find green sheets showing the amendments made to the standing orders by Government Motion 31, which was approved by the Legislative Assembly last night.
Well, Mr. Speaker, history has always been an argument, as the saying goes, but rarely has the argument been as heated as it is today. And because of the chronic lack of history education, rarely has the argument been as uninformed as it sometimes is today.
Today, our education critic released our plan to ensure a safe return to school. Unlike the Premier's plan, ours makes the necessary investments to help protect our kids. We're recommending class sizes of 15 students, just like Calgary Catholic's summer program, hiring more teachers to cover off sick time and accommodate home learning, more custodial staff for elevated cleaning, reinstating mental health supports, robust guidelines to limit student interaction, among many. Will the Premier accept any of these recommendations to keep our schools safe?
The Honourable the Premier has the call.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we have accepted the recommendations of superintendents, school boards, and others with whom we have closely consulted over the past 3 months in the safe reopening plan for our schools. We are supporting that plan with $120 million of additional funding to Alberta school boards, with $250 million of capital upgrades for our schools, and by permitting school boards to access some of their a larger share of their $360 million of accumulated reserves. Again, we've consulted with the experts and we are implementing a plan accordingly.
Given that the Alberta Anti-Racism Education Committee has initiated a letter-writing campaign, and given the Minister recently met with members starting the petition, and given that one of this group's goal is for the education curriculum to have several additions made in regards to Black Canadian history and anti-racism coursework, and given that other provinces such as BC are beginning to work with community groups to establish curriculum to the Minister of Education, when can we expect more anti-racism coursework and acknowledgement of Black history in our curriculum? Please give a specific timeline.
The Honourable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the question. And racism of any sort is abhorrent, and we very much in our curriculum and in our schools support opportunities for children to learn about how they can be better citizens and how they can be active within their diverse communities. So absolutely we are looking to address that, and the new curriculum will have elements that will address anti-racism.
And then other changes, major changes, are that this piece of legislation contains provisions which will make it possible that publicly funded health services will be delivered privately by for-profit entities. And certainly that is problematic in that it fundamentally changes how healthcare had worked in Alberta, how it's supposed to work, and this bill removes even minister's obligation to consider public health option before private delivery. And we have evidence, we know from other jurisdictions that this process will erode public health care, and that's a classic strategy of conservatives that starve public system to a point where people even start saying that no, public delivery is better. So this will further erode our public health care system. That's why this change is deeply problematic, not acceptable, and I think it will have lasting implications for quality of care. Then also, as the system stands now, only doctors are able to bill Alberta Health and government, but changes in this piece of legislation will allow for-profit private entities be able to bill the government. There are many aspects of that change that are problematic. One, Albertans' health should never be treated as a for-profit enterprise. Healthcare is people's basic right, and they should get it as of right. Other thing is, when doctors are billing, they are the one keeping the health records, and they are governed by a profession which has a history of excellent governance, excellent rules and procedures in place to keep everything in check and balance, to keep the high-class quality of care.
That sent a message to the technology sector in Canada: do not invest in Alberta. This is not a place to grow a technology company. And indeed, what we heard from this minister when we raised this concern, and I did raise this concern, indeed I brought the very words of groups like the A100 into this legislature. And the response we got from that minister was that we've given the job creation tax cut and that helps all Alberta companies, that's all we need. The Innovation Working Group clearly states the job creation tax cut simply does not hold the same benefit or indeed any benefit for early stage and startup companies that focus more on revenue than earnings and deploy as much additional capital as possible towards additional growth.
Carried. The Honourable Government House Leader.
I move that the committee shall rise and report Bill 33.
Having heard the motion to rise and report on Bill 33, all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say no. No. So carried.
ਇਸ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 34 ਬਿੱਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਆ ਵਿਧਾਨ ਸਭਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ। ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਜੇਸਨ ਕੈਨੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ MLAs ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਟਾਫ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹ ਬਿੱਲ ਪਾਸ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਯਕੀਨ ਦਵਾਇਆ ਅਲਬਰਟਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੂਬੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਘਟੀਆਂ ਕੀਮਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਨੌਕਰੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਪੈਸੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਖਰਚ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੋਰ ਸਰਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਲਗਾਇਆ ਜਾਵੇਗਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਨਵੇਂ ਸਕੂਲ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਮ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਹੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੁਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਦੇਣ ਦਾ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਦਫਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਫਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਆਟਵਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਨੂੰ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਟਵਾ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ 50 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਦਫਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਆਟਵਾ ਨੂੰ ਪੈਸੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ ਆਟਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਮਦਦ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਵਿੱਤੀ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਰੁਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਮਹੀਨਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਵਾਅਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਰਕ ਪਵੇਗਾ ਬੇਰੁਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੁਜ਼ਗਾਰ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਕਾਮਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ